So the England cricketers have been to Australia and we know what happened there. And now there's to be an ECB review into the Ashes tour following the 4-1 defeat to the Aussies. The review we hear will cover tour planning and preparation, individual performance and behaviour. And England are considering a player curfew, we hear, when the team leaves for the tour to Sri Lanka this week. So it doesn't really stop, does it? But what's going on? What actually went on out in Australia? Because we heard all sorts of things, did we not? The England head coach, Brendan McCullum, is satisfied his team do not have a drinking problem and don't do things to excess. But it was revealed that white ball captain Harry Brook had been struck by a nightclub bouncer when he was refused entry to a venue in Wellington because he was drunk. Ben Duckett was filmed apparently drunk and disorientated after a night out. So where's it all going and what is this ECB review going to produce? Double Ashes winner with England, Steve Harmison, is with us. Steve, what is going on? Because it seems like disarray all over the place.
Yeah, they're lost. Simple as that. They're lost. How they've lost everything that they went into that series, the preparation that everybody's talked about not being right. Is there a drinking culture? Is it an English society thing? I'll stick up for the players in somewhere where you go, they spend an awful lot of time away from home, spend an awful lot of time in hotel rooms. Is that right or is that wrong? No, I'm not defending them for that. Some people like to have a social beer to, relax
that
in between.
Steve. So but then when it goes too far,
you have
social media and fans not happy that England were trailing in the series.
Goes too far, you have to be reprimanded.
When those images appeared on social media.
If you go too far, you get reprimanded. Harry Brook got fined. It was the day before, or actually it was the day he was captain in England, and rightly so, he got fined. He openly admitted it. He's put his hands up. He's apologised. It's about actions from there. Now, his actions from there during the Ashes, I think it had possibly had an effect on him when it was overhanging, and why that didn't come out a little bit earlier. I think, in a management point of view, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. When you want to bring that news out that we have fined our vice captain, we have fined our white ball captain, we fined one of our best players in the middle of an Ashes series. I think try to keep that in house, and obviously it hasn't worked. Touring life is very, very difficult.
I get that, but do you think a curfew is the answer?
No, curfews are never the answer. Curfews are never ever the answer, because then you're taking away the trust of players. The minute you start curfewing, then you're basically saying, as a management group, we don't trust you.
Well, should they be trusted?
Well, that's a different argument. But for me,
well, that's the argument, isn't it?
Well, the argument from English cricket fans' point of view is that they've seen their team get walloped 4-1, haven't been prepared on the field, ready for that first battle-hardened test match. And now stories have come when they're in New Zealand that they were on a bit of a jolly. Now they should get hold of the coals for that if they've been wrong. Now that's where this review is going to look at it. Now, I probably see one, possibly two incidents that have been described that has gone excess and too far. That was the Harry Brook one. The Ben Duckett one, yeah, he didn't look in a great state. The Noosa trip, I didn't really have too much of an issue with the Noosa trip, because there was a lot of time between that second and third test match, and I think the problem you had is when Rob Key said he didn't see there was another there wasn't another problem during that, because we didn't know that. That's the problem. We're losing.
It looks as if they're almost celebrating defeat, doesn't it?
Yeah, but look, it's a privilege to represent your country, isn't it? And around Arsene Wenger, it was like a zero tolerance to alcohol. He probably expected people to have a drink here and there. But if it's become a culture, we need to change it. We need to change it, because look, there are other ways to enjoy yourself. You can celebrate when you win, but I think it's the visual of England getting trumped like they were and then having a drink. But it always looks to me in cricket as if they're having a better time than the footballers. I don't know whether that's the case.
But on the thing of that is, Martin, you as a footballer, you spend 300 nights in your own bedroom. We as cricketers spend.
But I think that's wrong, Steve. I think every 2 or 3 days now you're in a hotel. You're packing a bag for one trip to go to the next.
Australia. So in Australia, the England cricket team, when I've been in Australia, they're getting beat. They're getting hammered, right? But England's cricket team in Australia will be probably, their allocation will be about 50 bedrooms in a 350 bedroom hotel where the other 250 bedrooms, 300 bedrooms will be all England supporters, all England fans. There's no release, no way of getting over it. I'm not defending them.
I mean, I remember Francis Edmonds writing a book about...
Their wives go at Christmas.
Right, so they've got their families with them.
At Christmas, yeah.
Right.
I don't know how they do it. When I watch it, I don't know. To be that long away from family members, that structure around you is a difficult gig.
So when you get 2 days off, the last thing you want to be doing after you've just spent 5 days on a hot cricket field, the only thing you can have is room service at night time, or they've now got a chef with them. You need to get out of you're caged animals.
But doesn't the alcohol make you worse?
It's what you want individually.
It's a quick fix, no?
Well, I'm not defending them. All I'm saying is I'm trying to come up with an argument that.
Well, maybe we need some balance.
When you go away from home, and there's 2 days, 3 days in between a test match, because the test schedule is so grueling now. What the individual needs to make the individual have a release is up to him. And give responsibility.
How did Australians conduct themselves?
I tell you what. You've got this is probably the in a nutshell. You've got Travis Head, who won the Test match in Adelaide. England did the Noosa trip, and I can guarantee Travis Head drank more between Adelaide and the next Test match than all England lot put together. He's one of the best players in the series. Nobody will say anything around that. There's not a drinking culture in Australia.
Yeah, Steve, they're winning.
They're winning. That's the thing.
Yeah, but even so, I think there's too much alcohol. These are top sports people. Do you know? Like they've got. It's only 20. You can only do this for 20 years of your life.
Well, they're not 20 years. Nowhere near 20 years.
No, well, yeah, but if you're lucky, if you're lucky, I was a pro footballer for 22 years.
I'm not defending them.
There's plenty of time for drink afterwards.
I'm not defending them. All I'm trying to say is the amount of time you spend away from home, the amount of time you spend in a hotel room, and the amount of time you keep staring at four walls. When you get a day off, and you get a release, you're going into a city where there's 20,000 English people. I'm not condoning what they do, but if you like a beer, the odd beer, I don't see the problem with them going and having the odd beer.
Yeah, but not getting plastered and being shown up for what they're doing.
Well, if you do that and you step over the line, you get fined and you get done for it. Harry Brook's been fined £30,000. Possibly could have been stripped the England captaincy, and that's as how close he has been reprimanded. The review needs to look into all things: their preparation, the way they've performed, how they look as individuals, and the sort of drinking culture, if there was a drinking culture, that will come out in the wash.
Should the review lead to McCullum's sacking?
I think the review needs to look at all aspects of how England got themselves ready for Ashes Test match. And
Are you comfortable McCullum's still in charge?
I think he's the one that's the most vulnerable, because he drives the bus. He drives the message. He's the one that sets the tone. He's the Arsene Wenger. He is the one that this team should represent. And at this moment in time, if there's a drinking culture, if there's lax, and if there is a problem, it falls on McCullum.
Steve Harmison, thank you so much. It's as if we're the examples everybody should be set by. Listen, Steve, thank you for that.